The Haunting at Blackwood Manor. In the heart of the old town, nestled amongst the twisted trees, stood the notorious Blackwood Manor. For decades, the house had been abandoned, shrouded in an eerie silence that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to pass by its decaying walls. Local legends spoke of dark deeds that had taken place within its confines, and whispers of malevolent spirits haunting its halls spread like wildfire through the community. One gloomy autumn evening, a group of curious teenagers, led by the daring Mark, decided to venture into the infamous Blackwood Manor. They were fueled by a mixture of excitement and trepidation, eager to explore the mysteries of the abandoned mansion that had intrigued them for so long. As they pushed open the creaking iron gate, a gust of cold wind greeted them, as if warning them to turn back. Ignoring the uneasy feeling, they stepped inside, the crunch of fallen leaves beneath their feet echoing in the desolate courtyard. The interior of the house was a shadowy labyrinth of decaying corridors and cobweb-filled rooms. Their flashlights provided little solace as they nervously explored the dark recesses of the manor. Whispers seemed to dance in the corners of their hearing, and they felt as though they were being watched from unseen eyes. Amongst the group was Emma, the cautious and sensitive girl who had reluctantly joined the adventure. As they ventured deeper, she began to sense an oppressive energy, a malevolence lurking within the walls of Blackwood Manor. Her unease grew with each step, but she didn't want to show her fear to the others. As they reached the second floor, a chilling wind swept through the corridors, extinguishing their flashlights one by one. Panic set in as they fumbled for their phones to restore some light. Mark, eager to prove his bravery, urged the group to proceed, despite the unnerving turn of events. In one room, they discovered an old dusty Ouija board lying on the floor. Curiosity overpowered their fear, and they decided to use it as a way to communicate with any spirits that might reside in the house. They gathered around, their trembling fingers gently resting on the planchette. "Is there anyone here with us?" Mark asked, with a mix of trepidation and skepticism. To their astonishment, the planchette moved, slowly spelling out letters that formed a haunting message. "Get out." Emma's heart pounded in her chest, urging them to heed the warning, but her voice was drowned out by the others, who took the message as a mere parlor trick. Ignoring the spirit's plea, they continued their ill-fated adventure. As the night wore on, the house seemed to come alive with malevolence. Strange noises echoed through the corridors, and objects moved on their own. Fear began to grip the group, and they desperately tried to find their way back to the entrance. But the house seemed to have other plans. Doors slammed shut, trapping them in narrow hallways, and the walls seemed to shift and twist, leading them deeper into the darkness. Panic turned to terror, and the group started to fracture as blame and accusations flew in every direction. In the chaos, Emma stumbled upon a hidden room, its entrance obscured by an ancient tapestry. Inside, she discovered a journal that belonged to the original owner of Blackwood Manor. The entries detailed a series of dark rituals and sacrifices performed in the pursuit of power and immortality. As Emma read the chilling words, she realized that the malevolent spirit haunting the house was none other than the tormented soul of the former owner, seeking revenge on anyone who dared disturb his eternal rest. Desperate to escape, Emma rushed back to the others, but the atmosphere had grown even more sinister. Mark, now consumed by fear, insisted on trying to destroy the Ouija board, convinced it was the source of the haunting. In a final act of desperation, Mark grabbed the board and hurled it into the fireplace. But as the flames consumed the board, the spirit's anger intensified, and the house trembled with an otherworldly fury. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shook violently, and the walls seemed to close in on them. In the chaotic maelstrom, the group was separated, and Emma found herself alone in a room, the walls closing in around her. As the darkness enveloped her, she heard the anguished wails of the spirit and the tormented cries of her friends. In that moment, she understood the true horror of Blackwood Manor, a place cursed by the malevolent power of the past. And then, silence. Blackwood Manor stood once again, still and abandoned, as if the night's events had never transpired. But the horror that had unfolded within its walls would forever be etched into the memories of those who had dared to enter its haunted embrace. The legend of Blackwood Manor lived on, cautionary tale whispered in fear and awe by generations to come.